We've all been to the ballpark and gotten gouged on food prices. Most of us figure out that a terrible beer that is normally less than $1 outside of the stadium is now as high as $9 because owners are greedy, awful people. And though that's pretty much true, concession revenue is vital to the operation of a professional football team. Or is it? Today we're going to find out the real reason why food costs so much while you're at an NFL game. At football and win that cheddar. Okay, so before we look at why food prices are out of control at NFL stadiums, let's look at the average cost to attend an NFL game. For a family of 4 to attend a game on average is going to cost them $443. Which includes tickets and parking, but it's about $20 to $25 per person to eat and drink at a game. For baseball, it's actually around $200, and for hockey and basketball, around $300. Why is that? Well, in the NFL, they have fewer dates and events compared to other sports that have longer seasons, so while you're there at the stadium, they have to get that money. I'll explain that in a bit. By the way, the Cowboys have the highest cost per 4 to attend a game at over $600, and the Jaguars the lowest at just over $325. Hey, I guess Jerry Jones has to pay for those pole dancers somehow. So now that we understand the average cost to the fan, let's look at what the concession stand is actually making. The most profitable items being sold at the concession stands are drinks at over 90% margin, sometimes even higher. Beer and soda are essentially water, especially if you're drinking Miller Lite, and the margin off of these sales is insane. It can cost as little as 30 cents to make a 20-ounce Coke, which you buy at the ballpark for $6 profit. The most profitable food items are actually snow cones, popcorn, and pizza, which are about a 75% margin, and actually nachos have the worst margin at around 50%. Then you have to factor in labor costs, the stadium fee, which is usually around $100K, cost of the product, and probably the most important factor into why food costs so much at an NFL game, the 40 to 50% of sales that goes to the team. Yes, the team gets to pocket almost half of the revenue from sales, as usually the concessions are farmed out to companies that are good at making irresistible food like those hot dogs you can't live without. So now that you know that, let's look at the major factors as to why you walk out of the ballpark feeling you got anal pounded by a greedy owner. Number 1, supply and demand. They have the supply. You, after walking through a mud-filled parking lot and getting to the gate and being told you aren't allowed to bring food in, is now hungry at a 3-hour contest, and they know you will pay 4 times what you normally do for terrible nachos. Add a whining kid on top of that, and yeah, they got you by the balls. Number 2, gate receipts and TV deals don't always cover a team's operating costs, even though, TV revenue is outrageous. Teams take into close to $200 million a year in national TV money, and gate receipts, etc., add up to about $150 million, depending on the franchise. So you're saying, wow, these teams are swimming in money, but player salaries and expenses can add up to about $300 to $325 million, giving a nice overall profit of between $25 or $50 million and up, if you're a good team with solid attendance. Concession revenues can make up $3 to $5 million of that profit, which is not insignificant. That's at least one high-quality yacht for an owner. Maybe even a Lambo. Let's be clear though, because of revenue sharing, no NFL team is losing money. In fact, with the average payroll hovering around $125 million per team, the TV deals pretty much cover the player salaries. Which leads me to the real reason why food costs so much at an NFL game. Number 3, the players get a cut too. That's right, in the CBA negotiated in 2011, players successfully negotiated to get a percentage of the concession stand revenue and pretty much anything related to the operation of the team, including parking revenue, local ad revenue. In fact, they get a piece of pretty much everything except the licensing costs for PSLs. And that's the real reason why you pay so darn much. It's because the owners don't like sharing, and who gets to foot the bill? You, the fan, who already paid a crap ton just to walk into the joint. So when you add up the 3 factors of supply and demand, owners wanting to maximize profits, and of course the players sucking on the concession stand teat, you get yourself an $8 hot dog. Of course, some teams have much lower concession stand prices, like the Falcons, which dramatically lowered their prices because, oh, who is selling a lot of PSLs for their new stadium that the players don't get a cut of? That's kind of genius if you look at it. Also with the Packers, who as a publicly owned team gave me most of this data because they release their financials every year. 10% of their concession revenue actually goes to local charities who provide volunteer staff to work on Sundays. I guess all teams aren't awful. Okay, but Dan Snyder is particularly awful. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to leave a like, comment, or subscribe, and hit that notification bell when you do. And definitely don't forget to download the FanDuel app and use my code Touchdown87 and get a free entry into the NFL Sunday Millions contest, a $7 value with your first deposit. I'm 5 Points Vids, and you made it to the end of this video.